Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Tis the 25th of September. We have just pushed up and broken all-time highs again. So we've got a leg up, kind of two legs back, so I think we could have a reasonable move up today. We'll have to just be interested to see how this reacts. So hope everyone had a good day yesterday. I took one trade yesterday, just for a small amount. But there you go. So we have, let me have a look. We have had some news here. About 10 minutes ago, I didn't notice anything really. So if Powell's speaking now, we may get a few little hiccups. So we'll have to just sort of keep an eye on that. So let's see how we get on. So all-time highs at the moment. Let's see if we what happens, whether we come back down, we bounce off it, or we try again. Jan, how you doing, bud? I did have a play around with it last night. Excellent, mate. Very good. I appreciate it. I will definitely be using it. So thanks for that, mate. It's nice when people spend time and help you out. It's pretty decent of you to let people use it. Nice. Good. I think that's tomorrow's news. What, that? Is it really? You might be right, actually. It says the 26th. Posted it. Marco's Facebook group. I did hear Marco comment about it. Yeah. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks very much. It's very, very good of you. So, yeah, thank you. What are you talking about? Jan's designed a trade journal which keeps an eye on your trades. You can put notes on it and all that sort of stuff. So I tried to play around with it last night, but I'm definitely going to use it for starters. Obviously, it saves you having to buy one because, you know, they can get quite pricey. So he has posted it in the Facebook group. So have a look at the Facebook group. And then you'll know where you can get access to it. I made it freeware. That's pretty decent. The thing is, nowadays, so many, I suppose there's, you know, so many out there, and you can pay a lot of money. I know TradeZella can get really expensive. And that might be okay if you're earning good money at trading, but if you're like majority of us, sort of struggling and sort of learning, things can get quite expensive. So it's nice when someone spends a bit of time and helps us out. So it's much appreciated. I'm not on Facebook. Have you uploaded it anywhere else? Sorry, it's all right. I've just noticed. Yeah, there's there's tomorrow's news on here. Have I set it for just today? Let me just have a look at my settings. I know FZen has sorted this out for us. He's managed to get it working. So that's nice of him. Let me just have a look. Have I got... There should be a show just today somewhere, shouldn't there? Let me have a look. Show day number. I don't know. I'm sure there's something here that I can just filter out just the day. Let me have a look. I'm sure there is. I'll have a look in a second. Okay, there is a second entry long there. Now, my only issue with that is we've already been up there twice and we've been bumped off that top spot. So there is kind of a possible channel there. That may not be a terrible trade. The fact that we've pushed up here and bounced off all-time highs twice would make me a bit nervous of that. And it is a little bit sideways, so I'm not sure what's going to go on here, but I'm staying out of that. It could sting you. And it's, what is it, 11 ticks. It's not huge, but we've already been up here twice and pushed back a little bit, so I think that is a bit risky. So I'm sitting tight. Let me have a look. I am trying. That's going to be trying, isn't it? I do that all the time. I'm trying the 1200. Yeah, no, Matt was mentioning it yesterday. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea, that. At the moment, I've got two charts, the same, but slightly different. To the 2000 tick, but slightly different. But yeah, I think the good thing about that as well, I don't think it's a bad idea. And the good thing about that is 1200 tick chart, the bars generally be a bit small, that ATR will be a bit less. So, you know, big going for one contract, you can reduce that risk a bit as well. Some of the bars here, I mean, that ATR's 2.61 at the moment. If I go down to the 1250 tick chart, that would reduce that. So the bars are a little bit smaller. So there's the 1250 chart there. So what's the ATR on that? 191. So it's taken it down by about, I don't know, 20%, 30%, something like that, I think. Yeah, about 20%, something like that. All right, 20, 25%. So, and in fact, when Mac was talking about it, there was a kind of couple of setups, wasn't there? So I definitely think it's worth looking at. It is nice to hear Mac talking out the box, because Mac has never seemed to change anything or adjusted anything since I've been doing this. So it's nice to see him, you know, talk about some other, you know, time frames or something like that. So it's nice that. So FSN, if you are here or you can hear me, I appreciate you sorting that out for me, buddy. It is working beautifully now, and I have been in and adjusted it, and it's still there, so that's good news. I just need to remember how to get away the 20, just keep it today's news. It's got tomorrow's news as well. So that bar there that we looked at, second entry long, is likely going to get stopped out. It's just too risky when we've already bumped twice off all-time highs again, so I'll be shocked if that doesn't get stopped out. It may hold. My gut is we had something very similar yesterday and it got taken out. I'll be surprised if it doesn't, because I dare say there will be. Maybe, yeah, it has done. So, it's, you know, so many days now we spend in a range, so when it hits that twice, I have to ask myself the question, are we making range tops? I've been trying out the 1200 chart for over a week. It's been good, but you need to be careful. Yeah, I think anything, you know, we've heard Mac say before, you can trade any chart, any time frame, so it makes perfect sense. Yeah, it is. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. It is a triple test, that. 1, 2, 3. Just not sure about this, because there is a possibility that there may be some sort of a wider channel. I don't think there is. Yeah, I'd have preferred that trigger above, really. It may work. It quite possibly will. But there may just be something slightly wider there. It's hard to say. We could end up having something like that. In fact, that doesn't look terrible. So, and you may get a fail break out of this set, may trigger you and stop you out. I think it'll probably work based on 3 attempts. But you just don't know at the moment. There's not enough price action, really, for me to kind of figure out what's going on. But there will be people shorting that, I don't doubt, so it could push up. There could be something wider. So, at the moment, I'm just sort of sitting tight. You have to rely on visual entries on the 1200. Yeah. I played around with it a little bit, but the trouble is, what I find is when I'm focused on this, I find it hard to focus on anything else so much. Now, this other chart, it's not a problem, because all I'm really interested in is, does the signal bar on here look slightly better? So that one for me, same again, just going to sit and wait. It is kind of, we have made 3 attempts to get up. But this could be in this. If it breaks below here, then I think there might be a chance we come down. But at the moment, I've just got to sit and wait on this one. We are finding support at all-time highs. So if this breaks below, which it could do, then I'm guessing we'll probably be working down. But it is a bit too early. We may get something like that, but it's just a bit too early at the moment because it's also kind of a breakout that may fail. But this looks to me like there may be range tops. I'm not sure about that, so I'm just going to remove it for a second. Channel break, new high, try to go once, try to go twice. Let's have a look at that. I'm still sitting tight here because I don't know whether there may be something. Yeah, it is working, that one. Actually, I don't think it's a bad trade, that, to be honest with you, especially where we trapped that. To be honest with you, it went there, started to go up, and then it moved too quick. But when we're at this area here, it's at that sort of that point in time where it could trigger that and push back in and go up, or it could, you know, we do spend a lot of our time in ranges, as we know, don't we? Yesterday was kind of a range, a larger range, and we do spend a lot of time in there. So, you know, when we start to make, we have a break and we start to hit a bit of a level here, you just got to give it a little bit of time to start to sort of figure out where it wants to go. The less price action, the less information you've got, and the less decision making you've got kind of at your disposal. So we got a touch, and we're getting down to this area. So I think it's likely now we come down a bit. There's always a chance we could sort of bounce here and range a bit in this area. But I would say if we can get a second entry short up here somewhere, I'll probably take that because we have bounced firmly off here. Is there a wider channel up? I don't think so at the moment. There could be. There definitely could be. Leg up, break, new high, leg and a leg. Yeah, it's a bit risky going along here at the moment. I think there's a fair chance it to come up here though, but there could be a channel. That's the answer. You have to rely on visual entries here on the 1200. So that is a possibility. We kind of, it doesn't fit terribly here, and it visually looks okay. So there's a chance of that. And there is a higher low here, but have we confirmed this channel? Not really. We're just picking 2 points and connecting them. Second and it's short there. There's going to be some longs there, I dare say. So that's interesting, that. Now, this may not be a bigger channel. This could just be a down channel. So let's at the moment just remove that. Could be a second entry short here. But as I say, but let's just put that back a minute. It's tough on this, is. It's flickering around a little bit. Hey Speedy, how you doing, mate? Yeah, there could be a bigger channel here, so very tempting. Second entry short there, very tempting. I'm going to get rid of that in a minute. Just give it a little bit of time. Okay, NQ, that channel looks nice. So this may not be too bad here, so I'm going to see how this finishes. See if we can get a lower high. I may have a go at that. But there is a possibility of a bigger channel. I don't think there is, because looking on, mind you, if we look on this channel on the NQ, this is likely to go up based on what I'm seeing on this. So perhaps there is something. So I'm going to put that there and just kill the colour so it's an area of interest. But I'm not necessarily trading based on that. Oof. Yeah, just going to have to wait here, I think. The bit that's making me nervous about trading this short is at the moment this NQ looks like it's pushing up to break the highs of this channel, and that channel fits relatively well. So I think there's a good chance this is eventually going to get up here. It's certainly trying. So taking a short on here for me at the moment would be risky, which tells me maybe this is a larger channel up. Someone's looking for a second entry short here. I'm not so sure about that. So like, I'm not saying it's not, but this is an area where it could do a bunch of things. So there is a possible failure there. Oof. Very tempted to take that, but it could be coming down. I may have it wrong. It's not a big risk either. It's only 6 ticks.
Order submitted.
So I think that's worth the risk for 6 ticks. No, maybe not. Starting to get a little congested here. It may work. This is pushing up what looks like it, but it could trigger you and come down. So I'm going to let it trigger that and see what happens. It is a failure, though. There's maybe a few shorts in there. We'll see, we're almost at the top of this channel now, see, so it could go down. It looks like it is. So I'm going to get rid of that just at the minute. There is a lower high there.
Order filled.
I don't think that's that bad. There's going to be a ton of shorts in there, I think. Channel break, lower high. It's going to be a lot of shorts there. Sort of longs there, you can guess, can't you? Come on. Maybe a range here, so I'm not sure. I may get out of this. No. Let's just leave it. But I'm going to put it there because there'll be some stops there, I don't say. So if it gets below there, it might smash there as well. But it may be hitting the bottom of a range here, so I may get out of this. What I don't want to do is lose the trade. Okay, I did say that if I get into a trade, I've just got to leave it anyway, so let's just leave it. You know, I'm going to bring that down there because there's a bunch of stops there. I'm going to bring that down a bit. If it comes below there, it may push. So I'm going to, if it does continue down, I'm going to follow it down with me stop. I may be able to get a bit more out of this. That's if it doesn't take me out. Tempted to put that there. I'm going to give that a little bit of extra room. It wasn't a huge risk anyway. I'm going to put it there. Channel down, one attempt to higher, second attempt to go higher. That's not a panic decision either. It's a calculated one. We are making lower highs at the moment. So we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So hopefully it comes down. Channel down, two pushes up. Leg and a leg. That would take us down to there. Made a new high on the NQ as well, so that's positive. Channel down, two attempts to go higher. Bearish bar, hopefully, and that should push down. There'll be liquidity there, and some here. So if that finishes bearish, I think that's okay. I'm going to leave mine down here because once it gets below here, I think it may continue down a bit quickly. That needs to finish bearish. If it does, I'll bring that down to there now. Because that's also a failure, trapping some longs. So my risk is only 250 now. So Hasn't triggered that, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping it was going to. I may put that back where it was. Channel down, 2 pushes up. Yeah, if it goes above this, I've misread it. I've got to get out of it. Hopefully. Second entry short if that finishes bearish. Channel down, 2 pushes up. It's 350, so it's 3.5 points, so it's not major. I'm kind of doing this on a lot of gut feeling. We've got a channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. It may push higher, it may do, but I kind of like what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm not just moving it willy-nilly because I'm panicking. I'm just sort of reading what I'm looking at as well. We've got a channel down, 2 attempts to push up. My only slight concern with this is the NQ looks like it's pushing up at the moment, but there is a second entry short, although the bar's not fantastic. News might save you. I don't think we got any news that I'm aware of, have we? This news isn't... this is yesterday's... tomorrow's news, I think. I just need this to push through the AMA and close through it, really. I do like the fact that we've had a channel down. We've made 2 clear attempts to push up. Low to medium impact news, yeah. I mean, if it takes me out, it takes me out. I'm kind of not worried about it. Yeah, medium impact. It takes me out. I'm out for this one today anyway. I can't trade these accounts. So my max loss for today is 350. So I'm all right with that. Is there a bigger channel here? I don't think so. That is tomorrow's bud. That is. I don't know why it's showing today. There's probably something in the settings. We've got a channel down, 2 pushes up. It looks like it's trying to push up. My only concern is I'm gonna make another calculated decision and put that there, because that is probably going to be safe. But we'll see anyway. I'm not moving my stop out of panic anyway. Check financial juice. Well, that's showing news. That's showing news. I thought that was going to be okay, actually. That's showing news 26th. Well, let me trade these accounts anyway today. So I think it was worth that, the calculated move, but it's one of those things, isn't it? But I'm not doing it out of panic. So let's have a look. 10 o'clock US news home sell. I think it's medium impact news though, isn't it? It's that one. Yeah, medium impact news doesn't usually do anything, to be honest with you. Yeah, look, now it's 2 legs up, it's coming down, typical. And I can't trade any more of these accounts now. That's weird. But look, it's doing well. It is what it is. You were out for 6 ticks, were you? I went... where did I get in there? It was a little bit lower. I went for me 3 points, and I think I went in here somewhere. Did it give me it? It didn't quite give me it. I went in here. It was a tick or 2 off. But, the thing is, it was a trade yesterday. I went for 3 points and got out for $100. I'd have been $200 up. A couple of days before, I got out for what was it? I got out for $175, so I could have had so I would have been $350 up, so that would have protected me. But the one time you do leave it, it takes you out. And yeah, I should have left it, but then I'm thinking this is a leg up, so maybe that's the obvious target. We are coming down. I still think it's, but then I moved it up to there. That was kind of calculated. So it's a 450 loss. It's not the end of the world, and I'm only trading 3 accounts, so it's not worrying me to do stuff. I didn't move it out of panic. If I'd have moved it out of panic, I'd have continued to move it up. But it's more that I put it there initially because I'm thinking leg and leg up, and then that would be the next obvious place. But it's one of them things. Trouble, yeah. The thing is, out for 6 ticks. If I go for 3 points and I stick at the 3 points, I'm going to make in 100% more profit every trade. So if you've got an 80% win rate, you're paying, you're covering your losses there. You're paying for your losses. But it's hard to say, is this going up? It did come down pretty quick, and then we pushed up once and started to come down. So it's one of those things. I might have been out there in one go, and that that's sort of the way it was. But I'm just looking at this NQ. This NQ does seem to be just going up. So whether this eventually will, but is there a bigger channel there? I'm not sure. It's hard to say at the moment. It is a bit early. But there we go. Checking the box, the filter selection. Let's have a look. I did filter out just US news. I have got US. Let's have a look. I appreciate you doing that for me, but anyway. Parameters news, show only today. Show only today. Oh, let's have a look. Is it down here somewhere? The right one. Probably not, am I? Let's have a look. Show news. Delete. Show only today. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. And it's only medium impact news. Yeah, I got it. Thanks for that, bud. Medium impact news doesn't usually do much, to be honest with you. When is the news? Well, it's kind of already happened, so you wouldn't know there was news there at all, really, would you? So, okay, what did I take? That one there, the lower high. I didn't quite get the 3 points, and it took me out. I put me stop from there to there, and then moved it just to there, because I thought that if it's going to come down, that might be a safe area, but that's a 450 loss. I've only got 3 accounts, so it's not the end of the world. 3 points will get another trade and a half, and that'll get. So it's kind of not worrying me, really. It was I didn't move the stop in panic, otherwise I'd have just continued to move it up. But I moved it to there because leg down, I thought if we get a swing, it may, test the underside of this and that may stay there. And then the natural place then was the lower high there. Sometimes, it works. So for an extra few ticks, I thought it deemed worth it, but it ain't necessarily so. So let me have a look. So I could trade my my funded futures account now then. I don't know whether to get an evaluation, actually. Trade an evaluation. Is there something larger there? It's hard to say. Not sure. Move. Not sure. How long have I been trading for? 35 minutes. Yeah, the medium impact news generally doesn't do anything. In fact, we had a bit of a move, didn't we, about a week and a half ago? Was it a week and a half, 2 weeks ago? We had a really quick move, and that's the first time I've ever seen medium impact news do that. I know some people don't even have it on their charts. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Have a look here. Anybody taking any trades here? Yeah, a couple have took that one. Hey, Nick, how you doing, mates? Have you considered scalping the Ford 6 ticks? and then using measured move for targets on a runner. Trouble is, with 2 contracts, are you on about sort of doing 1 contract and that? They've never really sparked my interest, runners, and the reason being is because I see a lot of traders that take them that get nothing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if I'd have taken that one, eventually it went down, but I didn't quite get me 3 points. To be honest with you, I thought once it got below there, which it did a tick, I thought that might give it a bit more momentum, but it didn't. But the thing is, I mentioned yesterday that the last couple of trades I've got out early. Now, if I'm going to do the 3 point bit, and where it averages 1-to-1 risk, I've got to leave it in. And unfortunately, that's just one of the ones that just didn't work, which is not sort of, nothing to worry about. Dan consistently gets 3 to 5 points on his runners. Does he really? I feel like you never lose on 4 ticks. Yeah, I know what you mean. If I was going to do that, I'd rather go for 2 points and then do a runner. But I don't know. I've just never been a fan of them, really. Maybe I look through my trades or maybe I just monitor what I would have got. I mean, that one, if I'd have got 4 or 6 ticks, I would have got that, but I wouldn't have got a runner because the measured move would have been down there. But channel down, push up. I still don't think that was a bad trade. Actually, it was a lower high. I mean, it did work, but tick below there, it didn't quite. It's got to push through for 3 points, and it didn't. Bounced a tick or so lower, which is unfortunate. But I thought when it broke below that bar there, being a higher low, it might get a bit momentum because there's probably traders 2 legs down thinking about going long there. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it, but work out long term if you keep the 1-to-1, but just can't mentally handle. Well, that's why I've got this. I can't trade these accounts now till 2:30 tomorrow. 1 loss, and that is it for the day. So I kind of don't have to worry about handling losses. Guardian Angel sort of protects me from that because it won't let me trade now. Do you know what I mean? I got trapped on the same spot, hopefully. I don't think it was a bad trade, to be honest with you. We'd had a channel with a break and new high. We tried 3 times and came down. We did push back up. And if you notice, there's a bit of support here. We did test this, didn't we, a few times and ended up coming down. So when we couldn't get above it there and we had a lower high, some longs there, I'm thinking down here. So I was expecting that to come down for another leg. That's what I thought was going to happen then. Yeah, Guardian Angel Trader. Yeah, you took the trade too. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, it was about a tick or 2 off hitting the 3 points, and if it hit the 3 points, everyone would have kind of been okay. But on the odd occasion, it's not. But if I'd have taken 3 points on the last 2 trades instead of what I did, I'd have been about $325 up now, and that would have paid for that loss and still given me some left. So I still think it's worth it. I'm just not a fan of runners. I just see so many people take them and they don't get a lot out of them, sort of majority of times it triggers you, gets your 2 points, and then comes back and takes out you kind of break even. And if I'm losing sort of 50%, if I could trade 5 contracts, then I'd say, yeah, it'd be worth it. But having 50% on a runner, it's not for me at the moment. Probably been a larger channel working up. Yeah, it's just the way we bounced off this 3 times after the break, and then we came down pretty quick. And a lot of times we will come back and test this area. And not only that, there is, if you read those gaps, there is one of those fair value gaps there, isn't there? Here. So I was expecting it came through this and then bounced and came down. So I thought we've pushed up, cleared out that fair value gap. Not that I work those, but I'm aware of them. because we had those 3 bars, fair value gap. I thought when it bounced off here, lower high, I was expecting it to come down for a full leg. And then I was thinking, I think there's probably likely going to be a leg and a leg, which would comfortably get me 3 points. In fact, when it went back a little bit, I even moved it back to below here because, I was expecting it to come down. And then if it broke below there, sometimes I'll do that, bring me profit down here. And then as it launches through that bit, squeeze it down with me stop. But, yeah. Just curious about how the math will play out for long term for 4 ticks. Yeah. See, Max says now about 4 ticks. If you're going for 1 or 2 contracts, he thinks you've got to go for more. Don't get me wrong, mate. If I could trade 4 contracts or 3 contracts, then I would have a runner. But for just getting 4 ticks, so I might be risking 3 points just to get 4 ticks and have me runner taken out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm risking 3 points for a point. But it's just one of those unfortunate things. A lot of the time lately I have been getting out early and it's been going for the full 3 points. So I'd have built myself up a little extra pot to pay for the odd time it doesn't. But if I go for 3 points, I've actually got to go for it instead of just now and again when I start to sort of worry that the trade might come back. But I thought that was going to come back a bit. Channel down, 2 pushes up, which is why in the end I moved the stop to there. And then I thought it might be better there. And it's only actually a few ticks more. So if I had it a tick above there, putting it a tick above there, I'm just risking an extra sort of like 3 ticks, which I deem worth it because if it does pay off, and not only that, 1, 2, 3 triple test. I was expecting something like that, but as you get more experience, you do get used to reading these markets. Now you're not going to get them right all the time, but after we did this and it came down, I'm thinking straight away this is probably likely a range day. Dan has me going for 6 ticks now. Yeah, do you know what, mate? I can't remember the last time I saw a trade that didn't go for 2 points. If I look through Marco's trades, I would say maybe 1 trade in 20. No, more than that. I think the easiest way to do it is look back on your trades and just work out how much they went for. And if I'm going for, 6 ticks, or if I go for 12 ticks, theoretically, I'm doubling my profit based on what you're getting every time. So if you do so many trades, it kind of pays for that odd loss, doesn't it? But it is a personal thing, isn't it? You've kind of do what sort of works for you. I don't know what's going on here. I try going for large targets. Yeah, I've tried to settle on somewhere where I think it's worth going, because so many times it'll go for 6, 8, and 10 points, but obviously, the more you go for, the more losses you're going to incur. But I do kind of like 3 points. It's not often it goes for 2, but 3. I'm so eager to move, might take profit to go smaller. Yeah, I know. I think if you decide to go for 3 points, you have to leave it. And I did decide to leave it there. And unfortunately, it is typical. The last few trades I've taken, and I got out early. Yeah, you have. Yeah, absolutely. Which is why in the end I left it, because yesterday I didn't, and I got out for $100 and it went for the full 3. So I'd have been $200 up. I think it was Friday I did the same. So I'd have been $325 up. So that $325 just on the last 2 trades would have paid for that loss, because I think it was 250 risk. And I'd have still had 100 left over. So for me, from the the charts I've been through, Marco's charts and stuff like that, it's a no-brainer 3 points. But on the odd occasion, it's not quite going to reach you. The reason I gave that a bit more space is I thought channel down, 1 attempt higher, 2nd attempt to go. And after the channel with a break in the new high and 2 more attempts and we couldn't get above it, I sort of deemed it was worth that extra risk. Because if I moved it and risked an extra, say, point, and I got 4 points out of it, The difference between 3 points down and 4 points up is 7 points. And I thought, risk a point to get 7 points. I thought it was worth it. So I'm not moving stops based on panic now. I'm sat here perfectly fine. I've only got 3 accounts. It's not worrying me about losing 3 accounts. Not that I'm going to be stupid about it, but I kind of like the fact that I'm not worried about it. It's not stressing me out. But next week I may have 4 trades that go right to 3 points. I may have the next 8 winning trades right to 3 points. Well, then those extra points are kind of buying you, giving you credits to cover your losses in a way. Do you know what I mean? So I might go back actually. I might finish early today and go back over my last sort of 10 trades and see how much profit I got and see how much profit I could have got. In fact, I'm going to do that this afternoon. In fact, I'm going to finish early now actually. I can't trade this account now anyway. That's what I like about Guardian Angel Trader. 1 trade and I'm done for the day. I can either go onto a sim there, but I'm going to go through my account, my last 10 trades and find out how much I took. And if I'd have taken the 3 points, how much would I have been up compared to what I am now? But it's not stressing me out. If I had 20 accounts now, I'd be stressed, but I'm not in the slightest. Because it's 450 down because I moved that extra, but it's a trade and a half and you're back in the grid. Two winning trades and I'll then be $150 up. So kind of doesn't worry me so much. Now, if I thought the trade was crap, I'd be a little bit annoyed, but I actually think it was okay. And it didn't work. It's just unfortunately it was a tick shy. But I thought once it got below there, that would give it, but it didn't. It came down about a tick below there and turned. See my comments earlier, Matt. Last trade he marked yesterday did not work. I was surprised. He did mark a really odd trade. Was it a second entry long? Was it right up here somewhere? He does mark the occasional trade that I think, I wouldn't have taken that. He does sometimes. But I still believe Mac only takes. I know he told me 5 ticks is still a scalp for him. Yeah, it is. Yeah, if he thinks it's. Hey Dan, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I notice sometimes if it goes for 5 ticks, he'll consider it a. But I don't necessarily think he may have taken it. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that one. If I'd have got, I was very tempted to get out at $200 there. I was very tempted, but I thought yesterday I got out early. Friday I got out early. At some point I've got to decide to leave it. And the one time I left it, it was a tick short. An extra tick, I'd have been up $300 account now. But it's just, if you decide to do it, you have to do it. If it works out well in the numbers, the only way it works out is if you leave your profit and your stock where it is. I'm sure he took it, but on a limit there wasn't enough. Yeah, I mean, the few emails I've exchanged with Mac when I was part of his Facebook group, he said to me in the past he only takes 2 to 3 trades a day. So although he might mark a lot of them in real time, it's easy to go over this after the fact and go, yeah, 2 legs back, that worked. That works. This, it's easy, but in real time, there's enough to scalp out. He went for 4 ticks, yeah. But yeah, some he goes for, some he doesn't. But I think he just tends to mark whatever he sees. Now we all know on occasion, if there was that many high probability trades, you'd probably be inclined to take them all. But in real time, some of the trades are a lot easier and are more obvious, and others kind of aren't that obvious. But I've had my one loss. Unfortunately, I was a tick shy on it. I've decided to go for 3 points based on the research I've done. I've been through weeks and weeks of charts of Marco's, and I think by the end of them I was something like 17 points up, something like that. So if you if you decide to go for these 3 points, coming out early. The last couple of trades I've come out early. If I'd have come out early for 200 there, you know, I'd have kicked myself. But it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, I did say yesterday, in fact, the next trade I take, I bet you'll be one of the ones that doesn't work. But it doesn't often not work. I just take 1 to 200, copy it across a few accounts, and you make it nice. Yeah, you have. Yeah, I agree. But, you know, you've got some people go for 4 ticks, some people go for 6 ticks, some people go for 2 points, some people go for 1 to 1. You know, everyone's got that different where they kind of want to be. And, you know, it's not sort of one size fits all. You know, some people will stick to, for me, I think a point it isn't worth it personally. And Max even mentioned that unless you can afford to go for more contracts where you may have a runner, and obviously, you know, Mac's been trading these charts for years. He'll have a pretty good idea where price is likely to go, and I dare say he makes more money on his runners than he does on his scalps. But he's been doing that for years, so if it doesn't, why fix what isn't broken? But I've been trying to get as much value as I can, or trying to find somewhere where I think it's kind of worth it. And not only that, because there isn't a lot of trades at the moment, I'd rather try and get as much points as I can. So going for 3 points, if I can, yeah, absolutely, yeah, they changed the math. If I can get 2 trades, winning trades a week for 3 points, that's $600 minus fees over a month. That's $2,400, and you can afford a loss there. And that's 8 winning trades and 1 loss. So, you know, the potential's there. And even if you earn half of that, let's say only 1,000 over 10 accounts or 20 accounts, you know, the potential there for earning decent money, it's there. But Mac's been doing that same thing for, yeah. Thomas Way's just put that on there. I did cross my mind when that bounced. Is there a potential range here? But I thought channel down, 1 push up, 2nd push up. When we had that bearish bar, I thought, you know, this is coming down. I really did, actually, because it's kind of 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, close below. It never triggered, but I thought that might come down. And once it gets below this level here, probably stops here. I was expecting a decent push down, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, you know, you decide to go for 3 points, and the last 4 or 5 trades you get out early and lose potential profits. And then the one time I decide to stick, I end up losing it. But if I'd have been taking 3 points at a time, I'd have had more than enough money to pay for that loss. But if you think about it, if you think that extra point per trade, every 3.5 trades you do, effectively you're buying yourself a credit to cover a loss. So if you look at it like that, but it's personal. You know, everyone's got to make their own decisions, you know, and decide kind of what's best for them. Runners are good if you're taking good trades. Yeah, and if you can afford to go for multiple contracts as well. Yeah, I think, what does Mac talk about? 20%, doesn't he? So if you can afford to trade 5 contracts, you can have a contract on a runner. With me only trading 2 contracts, you know, it kind of, I don't know. It's one of those things. Did you take that down? Did you, that lower high there? Actually, we had this channel down, lower high, pushed out. I like the way we're testing this bottom. You didn't know. I like the way we were testing this bottom bit. We tested it sort of 4 times and then pushed below. I like the fact that there was a higher low and then a failure there. We pushed above that. I mean, it did come down for 3 points exactly, but unfortunately, I missed a tick. He's not as skilled as me, lads. It did work. Will Matt mark that? I think he will. I don't know, sometimes he'll mark things, but I think he'll probably mark that. It is a lower high. I like the fact that, for me, the first thing that I'm thinking about is we've had a break out of this and we're testing this. We've gone up once, twice, 3 times, 4 times and dropped away. You took it, but should have had 3 touches for confirmation. Yeah, but it is a lower high, and I like the fact that there's a failed second entry short there, which is triggered and come down. So it did what it was supposed to. Unfortunately, an extra tick for me would have, we wouldn't have been having this conversation now, and I'd have been $300 up. Just over a tick, but it's how he is. I can see him marking it. Was just waiting for the failure. Yeah, the main reasons I got into that is, one, it was a failed second entry short. We triggered above it because there's probably going to be traders having charts something like that. It may have even been like that with a break and a bounce and a push up. So I dare say you're going to have traders taking that one. Well, if you took that one, you certainly got your points. But when it was testing the underside of this and it started to push below, I thought it was worth it for me. But it's just one of those times that the one time I decide to go for the full 3 points, you know, this is exactly how it works. But is that channel right? I don't think it's terrible, is it? We did have a break of it and eventually pushed up to a new high. You should look at the bigger picture. It just looks like one leg up. Yeah, it does. But when we had this, so much of the day we spend in a range. When we had these three tops here and that pushed down, yeah, I mean, I think initially I moved it to that, didn't I? I can't remember now. I think I had it that initially. So we kind of had a leg and then a shorter leg. But so many times we'll do this, make range tops and come down. But it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't think it was a terrible trade. I think it was valid, testing these tops, trapping the short failure, and it came down for 3 points. Unfortunately, I was going for exactly 3, so I didn't have enough to push through. But there you go. Yeah, see, there was quite a few people that took a trade yesterday. It was that one I got out of. And Mac never marked it. He mentioned it, but said it was too risky. Was that trade there? It was kind of like an overshoot, wasn't it? Let's have a look. It was kind of like an overshoot. It was something like that. I think we had it. We should try going for a smaller take profit. I think I remember a lot of your losses would work for 6 ticks. Maybe. Might be worth going through. In fact, I did say I was going to go through some of my I might go through some of my trades, the last 20 trades, and just have a look, find out. Yeah, that'd be a nice exercise for this afternoon, actually. But yeah, Max said if it is an overshoot, it could come back. Now, I remember talking about this. We could have 2 legs down. That is not a leg to me. It's not enough, but we have a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, and then another leg down. So it kind of plays out, and then it continued on up. So I got into it, but I got out pretty quick because I started having second thoughts about it, and rightly so. It eventually came down, but Mac didn't even mark it. I think he mentioned it, but he didn't mark it. I think a couple of people, do you journal? I journaled every day in the last year, helped me immensely. It's funny you should say that. Jan has designed a piece of software so you can do it and it's free. So I downloaded it last night, I think. In fact, I've got it here. Let me have a look. Yeah, here it is. So I'm going to start. I have on and off. You know, I've done it in a book, but this is from Jan, so this enable. Yeah, so I'm going to have a play around with this again later. So where are we now? So I'm going to have a play around with it over the next couple of days, and I'm going to start doing it from Monday religiously. But it's nice of him to do this. But yeah, I'm going to play around with it, and there is some instructions with it as well, which is decent. So yeah, I agree. I think journaling is definitely worthwhile. But you know, I do feel like I'm getting better at this, better at reading it. And if I'd have taken that trade and it worked for 3 points, we probably wouldn't have had the conversation. But it's just one of those things. But it does seem like we are. So yeah, we have had that kind of leg up, but we are sort of ranging really. But I think there's a fair chance we have one leg down, second leg down. This could end up going up for maybe another leg. It's kind of like a penguin style thing, isn't it? Leg up, 1, 2 attempts to go lower. 2 attempts to go lower. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing came up here for another leg. But there you go. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. I'm going to go through some of my trades actually and just work out what points I got out for, what would they have gone for, and I'll have a look. I'm just not a fan of 6 ticks for some reason. I know a lot of the times I get out for that anyway, so it might just be a simple option to do that. I don't think 3 points is bad, but I think if you do it, you've got to do it on every trade. There's no point in having your full risk and then saying you're going to go for 3 points and getting out for $100. But there you go. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. Shorter day today. I've just done over the hour. But the good thing about having that Guardian Angel trader now is it won't let me get in and take another trade. The volume is slow for 3 points right now. Well, it went for 3 points. Unfortunately, it was a point off it, but it's just one of those. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have got in on the nail, I'd have been out for 3 points, but there was kind of 2 legs there. I kind of looked at that one as well. That was before the market opened, but also try the math. Yes, I'm going to, Bud, yeah. I'll look at my last 20 trades and I'll work out how much I'd have in my pocket if I'd have taken 6 ticks, 2 points and 3 points as well. And obviously total up any losses will come off that as well. So it'd be interesting to see that. So I'll mention that tomorrow. Actually, 50k 4 contracts is possible if you only take the best trade. Yeah. I think at the moment, Nick, I still have that slight emotion which sometimes gets you in a trade. You know, sometimes you see something and you think, oh, and you jump before you think. There's still a little bit of that with me, but it is getting better. I do have more time to think now. But yeah, that's getting less and less. I am feeling like this is becoming more of something I'm getting used to doing, and I'm quite confident with, working out things are going where, I mean, that was a winning trade, whichever way you look at it, really. It's unfortunate. If you'd have took 0.6 ticks, 2 points, that would have worked, and it did bounce off these, and it did come down. Unfortunately for me, it was a tick, but if I'd have gone for 2 points there, I'd have been in and out of that trade, and that would have been the end of it. But, if you go for 3 points, you are going to take the odd extra loss, but I think the extra you make mitigates that. So I'm going to do some research this afternoon and look at my last 20 trades and find out which would have worked the best. And I know it's only 20 trades. Maybe going back 200 might have been, but it's at least an initial indicator to look at. But there you go. So that's it. I'm going to leave you to it, folks. I'll be back tomorrow. So my trade's done and dusted. That's the good thing about Guardian Angel Trader. It stops your revenge trading. It stops you taking any more trades. And I think if I'm still struggling a little bit to take losses, it makes sense if I take one loss, I come back fresh tomorrow. But there you go. So I'll leave you to it. Have a great day. I hope you're going to set up. Best of luck. Failing that, I will see. Yeah, what is in this now? Taylor's in that trade now. I don't think it's bad, actually, because we got 1 attempt to go lower. Second attempt, we're clearly holding on here, so I think there's a good chance we get above all this. But there is a possible second entry short. I wouldn't take that personally. Although we are looping down, but we've tested this area a couple of times. You took that for 6 ticks. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad trade. I wouldn't take the short, although it may work. But, sometimes when we take these trades and it comes back, you start to doubt it. But Part of the reason I wouldn't take that is because one, these lows, and two, it is a little bit stacking up there. What about my funded futures account? I can trade it, yeah. But I'm going to do some research on this price just to see if it's still worth these 3 points. I mean, I initially went through Marco's charts, and every single one of the ones I looked through, every one of them went for 3 points. I think it was one might not have done, but he's gone out there for break even. So there's another point why I think if you get in, it's worth staying in, because if the bar's initially okay, and I don't think it's bad, sometimes it will try and come back. Let's have a look. So where are you up to so far? So that's going to get to 2 points, I think. There'll be some liquidity behind there, I don't doubt it. So I think that'll get 3 points. I'll just sit and wait a minute. We've bounced once, twice. We've come down a third time, haven't we? But we are finding support there. And it kind of is like a penguin-style trade, isn't it? One leg up, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. He'll probably take that if that closes above that EMA. So he may take that there and put it there, and he'd be out before the tops. So interested to see if that works. So it'll certainly get 3 points, I think. It's pushing up now. There'll be some stops above there, I think. Let's see. Let's just see if that reaches 3 points. I think it will. It's kind of working now. Once we get above there, I think it'll be up to the top then. There's still a possible second entry short. We haven't broken below. There's our first entry, and then it just feathers up to there. But this, for me, I think is more likely to go up. I don't think that's a bad bar. Okay, that second entry's triggered. I think that'll get stopped out. We've had two good bounces and a third effort to come down, and it hasn't worked. So for me, I wouldn't take that because of that reason. If I took that trade, my gut feeling is I'd lose it. But it was still making lower highs. But the context for me at the moment is this is the bottom of a range, and we have bounced off it twice there and had a third attempt, so I think it's more likely. I like 2000 sharp better than today. Yeah, it has its merits, both, I think, doesn't it? I looked at the 1000 chart for a while, and there was more trades on it. But it swings and roundabouts a bit sometimes. I think I had it on for a while, and for 2 or 3 days in a row, the 2000 tick chart there was more setups. So it's both have got their merit. I mean, if you can get a trade a day, I think whatever you're trading, I don't think you're doing too bad at all. There's not always a lot of good setups. So that failure has now triggered. I wouldn't take that personally, although it's up there. If I was going to be in a trade, it would probably be from here. I think that would probably be the safer bet. Let's see if there's a bearish bar, see if that closes. I don't think it will. That to me is an easy liquidity, I think. You never know, it is making lower highs. But the context for me is it's ranging at the moment. We are bouncing. So it's triggered that little bull bar there, dropped down, stopped it out, and now it's pushing up. It's typical, isn't it? I wouldn't take that one, to be fair. If I was going to be in a trade here, it would likely be there, but now that's done that, triggered it, stopped it out, I think that'll push up above there. When it does, the 3 points will be there, I think, and that'll go as well, I think. That'll be next. Just this market is a bugger, isn't it, for picking off things. Took a little trade there, triggered you, stopped you out, and then ended up going up there anyway. It's took that stop out, so there's another one there, so that may come down there. It's just so trappy at the moment. That's why when it starts to go sideways here, it really can get trappy. So if you took that one, it triggered you, stopped you out. If you took that bearish bar, it triggered you, stopped you out. And then if you took that one just now, it triggered you. It hasn't stopped you out yet. But no, there's a little double bottom there. I still favour it for the 3 points. But it's going sideways now. So yeah, trap there, trap there, trap there. And they say this market isn't personal and it's not out to get you. Okay, I'm going to let it do its stuff anyway. So I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to have a exercise this afternoon where I'm going to go through my trades and look just to see what I'd have been up, and I'll see where I am. But yeah, unfortunate there. Missed me out for a tick. Otherwise, we'd have been the conversation wouldn't have happened. But there you go. So that's me for today. Best of luck. You get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.